Good evening. So, why in the world am I in a suit? Well, I just saw the first stop on the new tour from Brad Mehldau and Christian McBride, and I'm here to tell you about it. These are obviously two of the most respected jazz artists of their generation, and they've just launched a tour of this minimalist duet of piano and upright bass. I just got to see I didn't realize it until they mentioned it, but what was their first stop at the Clarice Performing Arts Center. You're getting my pretty fresh thoughts here. It's just before midnight now. This was an 8 p.m. show. The first thing to mention, frankly, is that the vibes were just great. Rather than the enormous preamble and pomp and circumstance that comes with a lot of concerts nowadays, Brad and Christian just walked out, immediately laid down. I think they started off by just laying down three different tracks. Ira Gershwin, Nobody But You to start the concert. Pretty basic swing, and then some Wayne Shorter Angola. And then the standard Here's That Rainy Day. And that must have been like 35 minutes of music. Every tune was a pass or two through the head, then some really extensive solos from both players, and then a final reprise and some, nice chord extensions to close us out. They did something really fun with the Here's That Rainy Day tune where rather than hit that kind of Picardy third thing that brings us back to, well, I don't know what key they were in, but like in my real book, it's in G major. They hit the G minor and then just gave us a nice little walking bass downwards for a while for some really bluesy stuff. So then they played Thelonious Monk Work, then Wayne Shorter, I think it was Mayako. And I'll take a break here to just talk about their playing. So again, this is, a pretty minimalist setup. This is just upright bass and piano. And, I'm not, I dabble, but I'm not really a jazz cat. However, it was definitely, I think throughout probably the first two tunes, Nobody But You and Angola, I was just kind of getting used to the little sound world that they were creating. Because, Christian McBride is a really creative and playful bassist, always using so many kind of extensions of techniques and glisses and harmonic pops and slaps to get a lot of rhythm going as well. So I think his playing was probably, I haven't really come across it too much before. And so diving into that and just kind of understanding what was happening with his instrument, I think took me a little bit, but was very rewarding to get to hear. Brad Meldau's playing is, of course, also very creative, very harmonically rich, but also rhythmically intricate with a penchant for some complex hemiola happening. I'll quickly get out of the way what I think probably the weakest thing is when you have just kind of a straight go-ahead swing tune and McBride is giving some just really extended harmony and also kind of rhythmically chaotic walking bass, and then the piano is also giving a lot of extended harmony and rhythmic complexity. There's a little bit of chaos there that for those more diehard jazzers than I am is probably fantastic, but was a bit dense for me to wrap my head around. But getting that out of the way, even in the midst of just that rapid motion, the way that they would make sure to interact, and particularly during extended solos where, it's almost impossible to figure out harmonically where you are. For me, listening, not that I know the basis of these charts super well or anything, but where they would just hit and interact with each other and suddenly outline these harmonic moments. that was a huge strength of the performance. It always felt so connected. Each player then gave a solo. Brad performed In the Kitchen from, I think, his April 2020 album. And then Christian McBride performed... Well, he just kind of messed around for a little bit and then finally fell into a really creative rendition of Fly Me to the Moon. That was a lot of fun. A lot of fun to hear. With how extended everything was, this was already like an hour and a half of music. And then they closed the concert with a ballad that really had some great kind of chordal motion in it. And then there was an extended solo for Brad at the end where he took America the Beautiful and gave it some rich harmonic makeovers. And that was the concert. They came out for an encore that I do not know what it was. Frankly, I did not find it to be the most interesting tune that they'd played that evening. I definitely preferred some of the slower work. I also definitely preferred actually watching them solo and comp for each other, rather than when they were both just kind of ramming through some of the A sections of pieces. Seeing two people like that, so completely in their element, was really powerful, and I certainly recommend this concert if it's coming through your town. I'll link the tour dates below. Thanks for listening.